Hey everybody, it's Dr. Stacy and my co-host Blanca. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. How are you, Blanca?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm doing good. Your background looks very light today. It's like a lot of light coming in. I think it's getting darker later. So it's not as
Yeah, that's yeah, and I appreciate that. I worked on a little bit of lighting as well, trying to up my game a little bit.
it looks good. It looks good.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for a great show tonight. So what's the quote of the week? I always look forward to this so much.
This is actually one of my favorites because I personally have a very open mind. And the reason why I thought this was good is basically saying that the mind is like a parachute and it only works when it is open. And that's basically saying that it's very important to be able to have an open mind because that's when things work better. And that's when you can try new things, new experiences. For people that are closed minded, you kind of have to ask why. Is it a fear? You know, some people that maybe are not open to certain things. Why aren't they open to it? Is there a fear coming in? Was there a bad experience? Was it just lack of education? So I just thought that this quote was really important because, especially when it comes to sex, an open mind is going to be really helpful.
This is literally one of my favorite quotes that you've shared, and it is so true. If your mind is not open, you can't receive new ideas and you can't grow. So that's brilliant.
Absolutely. And I think it goes to just people in the community and, the LGBT community and just having an open mind to who people are and what they experience and things like that. But today, you need an open mind because our subject is pegging. And we're going to talk about what is pegging, why do we enjoy it? If people like pegging, does it mean that they're gay? If you are interested in how to broach the topic, what toys are good to use with it, positions. And here I have my little eggplant and peach to give you an idea of what pegging may be for some people that don't know.
That's
um,
true.
yes, so pegging actually has been around for many years, but I want to talk about, first of all, what is pegging? Because a lot of people don't know. So in this picture, it shows a female and a male, and the female is wearing a strap on. And basically, pegging is when a female wears the strap on and actually enters the man's butt. So it is having anal sex with a man, but with a strap on. The female is having sex with the strap on.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well,
Yeah.
this is a concept that I wasn't familiar with, so learning something new every single day.
Learning something new every day. So right here, it just says pegging is anal sex where the woman wears a strap on and puts it in the man's butt. It's actually a very, very hot and intimate sexual practice, and it allows for better understanding and a tighter bond between couples. And I think one of the reasons why is because it does take a lot of trust. It takes a lot of vulnerability on the man's part to be able to feel comfortable to allow a woman to do that. A lot of men have a fear because of it's like I said, without the open mind, it's a fear of the unknown. And
Mhm.
so they don't really know what to expect. And they don't know if their partner's going to say something or say, oh, they might get shamed about it. So it's a little tricky for some people to actually go ahead and try to do it. They don't know what to expect.
It's also not an easy topic to discuss if you haven't ever had that conversation with your partner.
Oh,
So what
absolutely.
what what is the appeal and how would you describe it?
Well, first of all, for the man, the prostate's a very sensitive area. There's a lot of nerve endings around the prostate. So it's kind of like with the woman that has the G spot, the men have the P spot, which is the prostate area. And so when it is stroked, whether it's a finger, a toy, things like that, especially when a man is pegged, you're having the sensation of something rubbing on it, which gives the man 10 times the pleasure when they have an orgasm. So hitting that spot. So for the men, it's that sexual pleasure of having more of the nerve endings being touched. And also, instead of not being about sexual pleasure, it's more about the psychological pleasure, because it's like a power switch where the woman is now in charge. So many times the men are in charge. The men are the ones that are take the initiative a lot of times, or they're more powerful. So changing that gender role and that switching of the power could be a big turn on for both people, where the woman is taking charge and seeing her man in a more submissive role. This can be used a lot in some BDSM type relationships as well, but it doesn't have to be. It's just a position that can be very exciting for some people.
That's
So
cool.
those are some things that one of the reasons why people like it. And also it gives the man the ability to understand what a woman feels like, because how many times do I sit there in my office and the man's like, I don't understand why she just won't let me do anal on her. So I always tell him, I said, switch it around and have the woman see if the man would allow it. And if he's like, no way, that's exit only, well, he could at least understand where the woman's coming from, right?
That's true.
It just allows the man to understand the vulnerability of what a female feels going through that position. And like I said before, for women, it can be empowering. And for the men that are always in control, it can be liberating to release some of that control. And it shows that you're trusting your partner to be kind and gentle and take care of that intimate relationship.
What about the suspicion that the woman may think that their partner is gay because of this request?
Right. That is actually one of the top questions that I get, because I have a lot of people asking me, my husband keeps wanting to do this, or I don't understand it, it's gay. Sexual orientation is who you are attracted to. If you are in a relationship with a man and woman, and the woman is doing something to the man that may feel good, that doesn't mean he's gay. It's almost like saying, if you are a lesbian and you have sex with a strap on, that you're straight. No, it's just another way of pleasure. And so, is it possible that the guy might have some bi-curious tendencies? Yes, it's possible. Is it possible they don't? Absolutely. Just because someone likes the way it feels to have their butt played with does not mean they are gay. It just means they like their butt played with. Because, like I said on the bottom, all butts have pleasure nerve endings.
True. I mean, what you're really saying is keep an open mind and don't be so
Right.
quick to label. We're just
Right.
so quick to label people all the time. And there's no reason. It does not automatically mean that the man is gay. So that's
Right.
good.
And that,
Based on your experience, you've met men that enjoy this and have indicated that they are not gay.
a lot of men, and believe it or not, a lot of the ones that enjoy it are in higher positions, meaning not sexual positions, but meaning like doctors, lawyers, people that have a
CEOs.
little bit more um, positions where they're looked up to, where they are always that like higher up, where they sometimes will look down on people, and sometimes they get in a position where they're home and they're with their partner, where they feel like, okay, now I don't have to be that top guy, and they can be more vulnerable. And the thing is too is that the connotation sometimes sounds, oh well, are they gay? There's nothing wrong with enjoying things that give you pleasure. But people have to remember that just because you enjoy something in the backside as a man, if you are not attracted to somebody of the same sex, you are not gay. If you do not get aroused by someone of the same sex, you are not gay. Doesn't mean you like penis. It just means that you like stimulation because that area is filled with nerve endings.
Do you look at this practice as an extension of S&M?
It can be. It can be, because there is some domination, there is some submission, and a lot of times the man is used to being a little bit more dominating, which is why being in this position, the man is going to be more vulnerable. He is trusting the woman to take care of him. He's trusting the woman to take her time, to go slow, to, not hurt him. And the same thing that us women many times have to do for the men. Make sure you take it slow. Make sure you use lube, these types of things.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of builds a little more understanding,
Understanding, trust.
for both sides.
Absolutely. Compassion for what people, the men ask the women to do sometimes. And another question I get is how do I bring it up to my partner? As a man, how do I tell my partner so she doesn't look at me weird? And as a woman, oh, this is something that I thought would be really cool. How do I ask my guy without him thinking that I'm crazy? You know? So one of the things that's important is that while you're having sex, that's not the best time to say, turn around, let me stick something in your ass, you know? Not the
Yes,
best time. So it's
probably
nice
not.
when yeah. When you're done, you be able to have like a regular conversation and start maybe talking about fantasies, or start saying, oh, you know, I saw something on, you know, a porn, or I saw something on TV, or I heard something in a movie. So that way, oh, I wonder what that would be like. That would be kind of cool, and kind of gauge the reaction of your partner.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, you gotta have a conversation
right.
and communicate about it. Like, just like any other excursion that you would take with your partner. It's better to talk about it first to make sure that everybody is comfortable.
Absolutely. And if not, ask why. What's their fear? What are they nervous about? When you're going to go have sex, this is explaining what happens when you go. You see the purple line on there? That little
Yeah.
purple line that's going by the butt area.
Hmm.
That is the best position where you're going to hit the prostate. The prostate's that little red area. So when you're going in and out that way, it's going to be able to rub the prostate. So the position is kind of at just an angle to be able to feel the best, you know, when you go to have sex. But I think that just like with anything, it's important to maybe start with a finger. Same thing for women that I recommend when women want to try anal. Start with a finger. Slowly put some lube on and bring in some toys, small toys. Start, you know, with little things and work your way up, because you don't want to sit there and just go shoving something huge in your butt. Same thing with women. You don't want that. You know, it's it's not.
It's called incrementalism. You got
Yeah,
to start small. I
exactly.
like, just like anything in life, you got to get some practice. So now you've got some toy talk for tonight. So I guess this would be the suitable, relatable toy for the topic of the night. So they make
Right.
one specifically for this purpose.
Well, they have strap-ons, and strap-ons a lot of times at the beginning were made for lesbians, and you know, play for some people that were not able to maintain erections.
Mhm.
But this is really nice to be able to use for pegging, because this one is kind of like a beginner pegger. It's called a straight through pegging dildo. And what's nice about this one is you can see it's not very large as far as the protrusion goes, and it's not phallic looking, so that way a man doesn't feel like it's a penis, even though it is obviously that same shape. But
Mm.
it's something a little bit smaller, and the woman wears it, and that's how she will use it. There's a
Gotcha.
lot of different ones, but this one I feel is kind of the best for people that are just getting involved in it.
No, that's a good recommendation. And I,
Yeah.
want to use the right equipment if you're going to try to pursue this, because you don't want to ruin the experience by choosing the wrong accessory.
Right, exactly. And here's a position that they show it being used. You could see that the little red or pink on her butt, that's the strap on. That's kind of one of the sexational positions. It's one of the better ones to start with, because it allows it to get that angle to hit the prostate. And like I said, you may want to try with different things first. Maybe try with a small butt plug, or like little anal beads, or do something smaller. And it does take a little bit of practice, because a woman normally doesn't have this you know, protrusion. So she may not know, once she's got that strap on, how to maneuver, how to move. And another thing that people ask me, if you look at this position, you can see that there's going to be pressure of his butt on her pelvis if she's going to be pushing in and out. So they do have some strap-on harnesses that have dildos, or not dildos, I'm sorry, vibrators on the inside for the woman.
No way. That's brilliant.
Yeah, so that way the woman could enjoy it as well, because people say, well, what does it do for a woman? Well, first of all, it gives the woman that sense of power, you know, of taking control of things, which can be very, very hot. But in that position with that pressure being right up against the clit with a vibrator in there, and if you don't, you go make one. You get a makeshift one. You shove it in there.
Just look at you. I mean, you got to jimmy it up a little bit. Get creative.
Exactly. Put some duct tape, figure it.
You know what? Whatever it takes to have fun and keep that open mind. I mean, your quote of tonight really was special.
It's all about the open mind, because something like this subject is not always easy for some people to be open-minded. It's right away, okay, oh, if I do that, I'm gay. But talking about sex facts, that says Say describes pegging in his book all the way from 1795. It wasn't actually called pegging because they didn't have a name for it, but they described it in the book. So this type of play goes all the way back to the early 1800s, late 1700s.
You
So
would
this is
never
nothing,
think that. You would never think that.
right? This is not something new. It's just they never really had a name to it. And one of the reasons why they gave it a name is because there was such a relationship to anal sex being gay that they made it pegging. So pegging was the way that men could have anal sex with in a heterosexual relationship where it didn't sound gay, because it wasn't just anal sex. It's just societal wording. But anyway, so there was another one here in 1959 novel where they actually used a dildo in a scene and they called it Steely Dan III. And that's where the musical group Steely Dan got its name. It's
You've
from
got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't know that actually until I did some research on where pegging came from. And I was like, huh, so Steely Dan, they like to peg. but that's where it came from. It's from that a scene in the movie. So I thought, or in the novel, I'm sorry.
Will wonders never cease?
Have you seen the movie Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds?
You know what? I don't think I have. You recommend?
Deadpool, it's one of those slapstick kind of humorous things, and I love Ryan Reynolds, but it was so funny, and it has all these different sexual connotations. So of course, it was something that I liked. But even in this movie where Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool, he was like Spider-Man. He like the what are they called?
Superhero.
Superheroes. I couldn't think of the name. I'm all focused on pegging, but yeah, so the superheroes. So anyway, there was one part where pegging came in the movie, and he was actually bending over, and his girlfriend was, they made this thing about her getting ready to peg him, and so it was just kind of progressive for this time to say, you know what, it's out there, it's okay. If a superhero can do it, so can you.
Oh God,
So it's definitely something that's been around for many years, and it's something that you have an open mind and you can experience a lot of pleasure.
very cool.
Yeah. So, and what I had said before about asking a lot of questions, I do get a lot of questions about, my husband wants to do this, is he gay, this, but then this one stood out because this was actually someone who was very open and willing to do it, but she was nervous because she didn't really hear much about it, didn't really know what to do. She didn't want to do it wrong because he was really looking forward to it. So basically, she's just saying that her husband asked her to peg him, and she's open but not sure what to do to help him enjoy it to the fullest. She doesn't want to make it hurt and not be enjoyable. So I thought that was very nice that she had an open mind.
Definitely. She's considerate, she's caring, and she's making it about him and ensuring,
Right.
That's what really matters. But let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
What happens if the man wants to do this, but the woman is just turned off by the request? How do you suggest they handle that?
That happens very often because the woman a lot of times will feel like the man will kind of almost emasculate the man because they're like look down on them that they're being vulnerable like that. And that's why a lot of times the people don't discuss their fantasies because of that fear of being emasculated. But one thing is that I actually had someone say the same thing, is that I don't like it. I don't understand how he can like it. I don't think I'm comfortable doing it. You can't force somebody to do something you're not comfortable with. But if pegging is not going to be something comfortable for the woman and the man really enjoys it, try to see if there's something else that can be done. Maybe you can do a little bit of toy play with just, a butt plug or the anal beads. Maybe that might not be as intimidating, because for some people it could be intimidating to be in that position and feel awkward, and a lot of it's the stigma. A lot
Yeah.
of it's the stigma. It's like my husband wants to get, done up the butt, and I'm a woman and I don't understand. They just can't get past that societal connotation of it being gay. So I just recommend to people is do what you can, what you're comfortable with, discuss it, see what your fears are, what makes you uncomfortable if you can't get past it. I help people kind of understand and maybe try to do something different and maybe see things in a different way.
Yeah. I
But if
like
not,
that.
yeah, if not, they just got to go for it and try something maybe different that could be just as enjoyable. But it's important just to make sure that you're staying clean, that you're communicating, because that can make it a little bit easier. Like I said, ask what their fears are. If the wife is not interested, what bothers you about it? If it's something that gives your partner pleasure, they do things sometimes for you that gives you pleasure that they may not want to do.
That's true. Sometimes sacrifices must be made, I suppose. And you have to have an open mind, like you said, and try. You never know. And you don't have to, it's between you and your partner what you do in the privacy of your own
Right.
bed. So what is your law of sex of the week?
It's basically keeping an open mind when it comes to sex. It can lead you to enjoy experiences and pleasure you never knew existed. Having an open mind when you are being sexual, especially with a trusted partner, there's so much that you can learn about yourself, your body. You can learn about your partner that you never knew, and just have an open mind. Have an open mind when it comes to sex, and try pegging. It could be a very exhilarating, hot experience, and something that you may have your partner coming back for more. You never know. So I think that it's an important concept when it comes to sexuality, is an open mind.
100%, 100%. And for those of you who don't know this, you can download a free ebook of Dr. Stacy Friedman's book called Confessions and Lessons of a Sexpert. And you can visit drstacyfriedman.com and click the book link and get this incredible book. So what will we be learning about in your amazing book?
The book is basically a kind of like a beginner's guide to intimacy and some better sex. So many times people are so focused on the orgasm and the end result and don't take enough time to really understand your own pleasure or your partner's pleasure. And so people get into this rut. And so my book is just a very easy read to help people learn how to enjoy each other, how to feel more confident in your own skin, how to explore your body. There's a whole section on different types of toys for people that want to kind of bring something into the relationship that way. It's just a fun, it also gives a little background on me and how I got into things, and talks a little bit about some of my own clients. Obviously names are not there, but how people can transition and transform their relationship.
I love it.
Good.
I can't. So remember, you can download the book right at stacyfriedman.com, and you can also find all of the products, including the toy of the night, at drstacyfriedman.com.
Make
And
sure, I was just going to say, make sure that if anyone is interested in any of those toys, they can go to that site and click on the shop link, but they use TTT for Toy Talk Thursday, TTT20 as the code to get the 20% discount.
okay, that's good to know. So remember that. Use the code TTT 20 and you'll get 20% off on any product. So not just the Toy Talk, but any products, or just Toy Talk?
The entire order. So get the lubes, get the butt plugs, get the anal beads, get the thing, get whatever you want.
It's time to shop, everyone. It's time to shop. Get that 20%
Father's
off.
Day is coming up. What
There
better
you go.
gift to get than a dildo?
You've got to be prepared and make the most of every experience. And Dr. Stacy Friedman truly teaches us how to do that and how to keep an open mind. Or now, if what do you do in that situation though when one of the people in the relationship has this open mind and the other one is scared or has a lot of fear, doubt, and is making it an emotional issue instead of a sexual issue? How do you help them?
That's where we sit there and we figure out what their fear is, try to reframe the thought process as to, was there, like I said, was there a bad experience? Was there something that happened to make them think this way? Is it just a learned behavior? Is it a learned experience? I work with a lot of people with shame that don't really understand why they have the shame. And so we try to figure out, you're in a safe place with your partner. If you feel safe, we try to figure out ways to help them connect a little bit more, and start small. It's all about starting small, and that goes with the butt too. You got to start small, but that's what it's about. It's just trying to reframe the mindset and figure out where these negative thought processes come from, and try to change it to a positive and say, you were born as a sexual being. It's okay to enjoy pleasure and do it in a safe environment with someone you trust.
So important, and if you are experiencing awkwardness, feelings of shame, or difficulty communicating with your partner, Dr. Stacy Friedman is an incredible resource who can help talk through that issue. You can reach Dr. Stacy Friedman at 561 899 7669, or you can visit Dr. Friedman's website at drstacyfriedman.com. Or you can email Dr. Stacy at stacy@drstacy.org and find her on any of the social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the book, Confessions
Lots
and
of good
Lessons of
stuff.
Expert. I mean, so many opportunities to learn about sex and to communicate about it. And you
Absolutely.
said something, I apologize. Was there something else you wanted to add?
No, I was just saying, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, I'm all over the place. But I also wanted to add that if there are any females watching, we do a lot of work with intimacy on my Facebook group, which is Intimacy, Sex, and Empowerment. So for anyone that is a woman that wants to join my Facebook group, go on there, and you can get the download for free there as well if you put your email address in when they ask you for the questions. But that's a great place where we talk about any of our concerns, any type of problems or things that we feel as women, to help empower us to be able to have better relationships too. So that's something that you can find me at as well.
That group is seriously incredible. Everyone's very active, very engaged on that group. Can you tell us the name of the group one more time?
It's on Facebook and it's called Intimacy, Sex, and Empowerment. And it's for women only. So men, don't pretend you're a woman. I'll find out.
So definitely join that group. Download the copy of Dr. Stacy Friedman's book by visiting drstacyfriedman.com. And remember, you're not alone in the sexual conversation. Contact Dr. Stacy Friedman if you require consultation. Dr. Friedman, it is always such a pleasure co-hosting The Laws of Sex with you. We always learn so much. I hope everybody learned something. I know I did. Thanks for watching The Laws of Sex, hosted by Dr. Stacy Friedman every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
See you next week. Take care. Have a good night.
You too.